Okay, so my name is Dhruvin. I am from LA and I'm an electrical engineer by profession, and I teach hip hop and Bollywood on the side hustle thing. So I lost my job and I found a job which was like 2 hours one way. So it was like like a long drive. So I was like, what to do in that drive? So I started listening to Bigger Pockets by mistake. And then I was listening to all the episodes like from scratch, everyone. And then I found this guy, Mr. Felipe. So I was like, let me text him. So I texted him on Bigger Pockets website, but he never opens that one. So I'm like, okay, that is gone. So I gave him a text, never responded. Gave him an Instagram message, never responded. So I was like, what should I do? So after 3 weeks of thinking that should I call or not, I was like a little bit scared, like calling for the first time to anyone, like just a stranger. And one day I thought that, you know what, let me just make a call. And I called him and I'm like, hey, my name is Dhruvin, and the phone disconnects. And I'm like, shit, he thinks that I'm a scam and stuff like that. So he just, went off. Then I texted him again that, you know what, this is not a scam and stuff like that. And he called me back. He's like, it was not like that. It's just that it got disconnected. I mean, I have never met him in person till now. We have 2 houses together.
Yeah. Me and Dhruvin, I want to stop the story right there because I want you to see the persistency of Dhruvin. This dude DM'd me, called me, messaged, never annoying, but just like didn't give up, right? And I would challenge all of you guys, I don't care if you have 100 properties or you're working on your first one. Don't give up on that, fill in the blank for what that is for you. Like, keep going. If Shannon wants to do syndication deals, Shannon, your first answer, I'm going to be surprised if it's a yes. You're going to get a hell no. And then you're going to get another hell no. And then you're going to get a no. And there, you've made some progress because at least now it's not a hell no. Now it's just a no, right? So keep pushing past that. Dhruvin, I hung up on him and he kept calling. And now we're on our second property together.
When I talked to this guy, I had a Bumblebee Camaro, yellow, brand new Camaro 2016. And I like showing off, because I like dancing and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what, let me have some fancy car. And I got that fancy car. And meanwhile, I had been married also by like past 1 year. And my wife was telling me that, you know what, we should sell this car because it's like just a 2-seater. And when the family will be here, you cannot use this car. And I'm like, no, I'm not selling this car anyhow. And one day, Felipe asked me, what car do you drive? I'm like, this car. You know what, sell it. And next day, I put it on the market. And I sold it in next 2 weeks. I'm like, done with this one.
What'd your wife say, Dhruvin, after she was
She was very happy.
How she was?
She was pissed off that she didn't listen. I didn't listen to her and I listened to you.
Yeah. So, that's part of the story that I tell these guys because I'm letting them know that to me, that made it serious for you.
And the only reason I contacted Felipe was I'm in LA and can't buy a property here when there is only one person earning. So the only option I had was out of state. So that's how I got in contact with him. And the next step was, what should we do? And like he mentored me he tested me for around 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, good half of you.
And he used to give me like, this week you need to make $200 no matter what. Go out, do something, but make $200. And I used to make like 250, 300. And I used to tell him that, you know what, I made this much money this week. And that's how he told me that, you know what, let's get our first property. And I'm like, let's get it. So that's how it all started.
That is how it started. So Dhruvin, tell them a little bit about how we structured that first deal, Olivia Drive. And tell us about the numbers, give them kind of what's going on, how we structured it and what it looks like going forward.
So the deal split was, money at first was 70-30. Felipe was putting 30%. I was putting 70% till the time it is rented. After that, everything goes 50-50. And all the profits are still split into 50-50. The reason behind that is I am out of state, so I'm not doing anything other than bringing the money. And Felipe is doing everything, taking the calls, fixing up things, renting out, doing the renovations. So that's how the structure was. And the first thing was that I wanted to be very transparent and I can ask any dumb question which I want. So that's how it is really good in relationships. So I'm not scared of asking, okay, where did this $10 got spent? It's very easy. And he answers me straight away. It's nothing like, okay, why are you asking me about $10? It's about keeping accountability and being as transparent as you can.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Dhruvin. I've had Dhruvin text me, hey, there's $20 on the card, what? And I can take that one of two ways. I can take that offensively, like, dude, why are you checking up on $20 on the account? But it's not. It's Dhruvin doing his due diligence to making sure that if we ever have to stop and say, hey, Dhruvin, would you mind for a 1-hour meeting? I'd love for you to show me everything on the account, making sure that everything has been squared away. It's there, down to the last dollar. And that comes from building that relationship between me and Dhruvin. And me telling Dhruvin, hey, Dhruvin, here's the receipt for this. Here's the receipt for that. Here's the invoice for this. Here's this that happens. And I trust that Dhruvin has everything in the Dropbox. He takes up everything on the back end. But this is a perfect example where some of you guys that maybe don't have the money to invest in real estate, but can do what Felipe did, right? Let's say, you know what? I'm not even going to ask you I'm going to be the boots on the ground. I'm going to add so much value to you that I'm going to put up 30% and you're going to put up 70% of the money, but watch what I'm going to build for you. So that's really important to everyone at every level of whatever step you're doing in real estate investing. What kind of value do you bring? And value doesn't always just mean money. Value can be what skill have you sharpened? Dhruvin brought a skill set that it's just not my favorite. Dhruvin is great with the Excel sheets, great with keeping up everything. I mean, he'll call me or text me to ask me, why is there $20 in the account that was swiped at, I don't know, this store? And I'm like, oh, well, this was this. Okay, awesome. Sorry, I didn't get the receipt or whatever. Oh, sorry, I'll send it. And he's good at that because at the end of the year, when you have accounting at your CPA or whatever, Dhruvin's going to have this like beautiful color-coded, machine where we're just going to be able to pass on this. There's not going to be any problems. So that's really important. And what's cool about that is now going forward, me and Dhruvin are able to just plug in properties to the systems that he's already created. Dhruvin, why did you want to partner with me?
I had no choice.
Thanks, Dhruvin.
I mean, I had texted and emailed everyone from Bigger Pockets. Whenever I listen to that, I go to work. My first thing at work is to email everyone. Whether I get the response or no, but I had to do my part. That's it. And after 2 months of Bigger Pockets, I finally got in touch with you. And I'm still listening to every episode still.
Quick question. So for you guys then, for this deal, you guys structure at 730. Was it a conventional loan? What type of loan was it?
Yeah, go ahead, Dhruvin. Speak on that.
It was a conventional loan, and it was taken on my name. So, I mean, that's why on the house, it's both of our name, but the loan is on my name. So okay. That's why everyone has the same, foot in the game.
Dhruvin, what have you felt that you've gotten out of this partnership? And do you feel like you've gotten a fair deal so far?
The best part about was the mindset. That's what shifted a lot, It was like U-turn of my mindset. So now I think about how can I save money rather than spending on stupid stuff like cars and clothes and whatnot, shoes. Because when I go to mall, I used to buy anything what I want because I had money. But then I didn't think about future. So now I'm every dollar should be counted. What I'm spending, where I'm spending, is it worth it? Is it not worth it?
Mm-hmm.
I just save for buying houses now. That's it. Nothing else.
Felipe, are are you guys on the path to get qualified to get your second house or third house, or what?
We already have our second house.
Okay.
We are 3 months away from refinancing our second house to get our money out to buy the next one. So the first one was easy. The second one was harder, but going forward, it's going to be simple because we're just going to refinance our money back out after we've added the value into it.
And that
Good
one's
question.
also going to be in his name or in both of you guys' name?
So that one's, so what we do is we put the first couple of loans in Dhruvin's name. Both of our titles are on all the names. Once we can put the properties into LLCs, then I'll add my name to 2 or 3 rental properties, put it into the LLC. And once we refinance, we'll grow from there. Lord willing, once we have 6 or 7 properties in the LLC showing cash flow, neither one of our names has to be on the loan. It'll be in the loan of the loans will be in the name of the LLC. What we did was we found a property that we were both interested in. Dhruvin was pre-approved for, let's say, $250. So I was shopping for properties under that in my area that I knew that I could flip into a potential $1,500, $1,600 cash flow that stayed within that price range. Well, then what we did was we got the loan in Dhruvin's name. So we got the property under contract, and everything up until the last tenant was put in was a 70-30 split. So the down payment of 30% that we had to put down was split 70-30. Dhruvin would put 70% of the down payment. I would put 30% of the down payment. The moment we started construction, Dhruvin did 70% and I did 30%. So we structured that all the way through and through until the deal was done and tenant was cash flowing. Then we would split everything 50-50, all appliances, all maintenance, all cash flow, everything. Now, here's the thing. When we refinance, we're also going to split the refinance money 50-50. When Dhruvin gets all his money back will be when and if we decide to sell that property. Dhruvin will get his 70% back. I'll get my 30% back, and then we'll split the profits. So that's A, B, and C of the. That's how we buy the property. That's how we're going to manage the property. And then when we sell the property, if we ever want to, that's how we're going to do with that. So me and Dhruvin's partnership is on an agreement that me and Dhruvin have. On paper, Dhruvin's name is on the loan. Both of our name is on the title. Yeah, so worst case scenario, a tenant's like, oh, I hurt myself on the thing. One, we have insurance on top of insurance on the property. But more important than that is keeping a safe ground now until we can get that property into an LLC where that's what they'll go after. But for now, since both of our names are on the title, which is what they would kind of go after, then that's where we would be getting into any legal trouble. Worst case scenario, it would be both of us because we're both are on title. So we have to create cash flow if you guys remember the last conversation, an LLC, if I'm going to quick deed this property into an LLC, the bank needs to see that LLC has had funds running through it and been profitable, for a year or whatever the case may be, because if not, they have the potential to call the loan at when you quick deed it over. We can't just buy a property, create an LLC and quick deed it over to that because the bank can call the loan. So we have to, so now that me and Dhruvin have 2 properties going, maybe now, or maybe at the third, we start running cash flow through a created LLC in Tennessee, running the cash flow through the LLC. The LLC is showing that it's making money for a year, and then we can quick deed the property into it, telling the bank that that's what we're going to do. And then me and Dhruvin are 50-50 owners of the LLC. When we bring the property into the LLC, we are now 50-50 owners of the assets within the LLC.